Hello, grade 7 students. This is day 7 of STP Mathematics 2A lesson series. If you can remember, yesterday we completed the indices part and today we are moving to a new topic. So today we are going to move to the new topic, so that is standard form. First of all, take your theory books. So when I ask you to take your theory books, by now you know what you're supposed to do. You want to take the theory book and put the date and write down the subtopic in black color. Here, the standard form is the subtopic. Please write in black color and listen to me. Now, you just imagine, children, that we are talking about a very long distance. For an example, distance from Earth to Sun, or else distance from Earth to Moon, something like that. Very long distance. And that if you measure it in meters or kilometers, that you want to write 1, 2, 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, that kind of a very big number, right? So then when you are writing it, the things can be done wrong. So that means in the sense that we are people and we tend to make mistakes, even though it shouldn't. We tend to make mistakes because when we are writing zeros, 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 very big number. On the other hand, you just imagine that I want to measure the length of a microorganism. You know that the microorganisms are the organisms which you cannot see with your naked eye. For that, you want to use a microscope, so then only you can see them, that much of tiny organisms, right? And if I ask you to measure the length of these tiny microorganisms, so then it is 0.00000000023, something like that. Again, you are dealing with many zeros and many digits, right? So then when we are talking about something very big, or when we are talking about something very small, that there should be a standard way of writing these kind of numbers. You learn the same thing with your science teacher, but in a different name, with a different name that we call the scientific notation. The same thing, the same concept you are following with your science teacher, but she will tell this as the scientific notation. When you're getting the same thing, that this is the standard form of writing numbers. Then if I just write 423, that's an ordinary number. If I write that is 0.025, that's an ordinary number. So that means the ordinary number can be a whole number or a decimal, right? With the standard form, it is another version of the same number, right? So today we are going to learn what are ordinary numbers, what are standard form numbers. Before that, you write the subtopic in black color, then you write your note in blue color. What you're supposed to write, children, only this part. I will explain you what does this mean. First, you copy down this part in your theory book. Standard form is a number between 1 and 10 multiplied by a power of 10. Now we'll see how it works, right? Let's say you have 4,823 for an example, children. Right, this is not a big number when we compare to the distance between the sun and the moon, or the sun and the earth. This is just a smaller number compared to that. But when we compare that the numbers we are using in our day-to-day lives, then 4,823 is kind of a big number. Whatever the whole number you get, children, first you want to write this with the hidden decimal name. So where is he? So I'll show you like this. If you have 2, so that means 2.0. If you have 17, that means 17.0. If you have, let's say, 465, where is the decimal man? 465.0. Now, what does this mean? That any number, right? Any number. So then the decimal man should be at the end. So then how do you write this? 4,000. 823.0. This should be the first step. Okay, this should be the first step. So then I want to convert this into the standard form. So can you remember the definition? The standard form always a number between 1 and 10, right? So then I want to convert this number into a number between 1 and 10. How can I do that? I want to move the decimal man like this. So then it will be 4.823. Is it a number between 1 and 10? Yes. So how many steps I came? I came 3 steps like this. You are not showing the arrows like this, even though I showed it for your easy reference. In the exam, you are not showing. So this is the first example. But before moving to the example, we want to write something. Then the numbers we do have that you can write this in your theory book. Numbers, we are talking about 2 types, ordinary numbers, right? Ordinary numbers and standard form. Right? So ordinary number, it can be a whole number. It can be a whole number and it can be a decimal, right? So then always the standard form should be a number between 1 and 10 multiplied by 10 to the power something. First you copy down this, right? After that, you can write the first example here, 4,823. Then first you write 4,823.0. So then that becomes, I write this closer, it's not nice. So then here we write 4.8230 multiplied by 10 to the power 3, right? Where I got this 0 because at the end we have a 0 now. No point of writing it with the n0. We know these things by now. 83 multiplied by 10 to the power 3. I'll take the second example. Let's say you have 672. What should be the first step, children? 672.0. So then I write that I bring the decimal to the corner, the left corner. So that keeping one digit that bring to the corner 6.720 10 to the power of 2. Why 10 to the power of 2? 1, 2. Okay. Then I rewrite and conclude my answer 6.72 multiplied by 10 to the power of 2. Right? So this is how we get the answer. So then the third one, right? Let's say I have 4,000, right? Let's say I have 4,000 like this. What should I do? 4,000.0. So then I write 4.0000 10 to the power of 3. No point of writing things like that. You just write 4.0 10 to the power of. Okay. I'll take another example. Let's say you have 5,008. What should we do? 5,008.0. So then we write 5.0080. How many steps that we adjusted it to? 3 steps. So then we write 5.008 10 to the power of 3. Children, that though you are writing the things like this, when you start schooling, the different school branches that they learn this in a different way. And you find the shortcuts and you forget all these steps. One fine day, you will be penalized with your marks, right? So when you go to the final exams, the Excel exam or the national O-level exams, that you want to show everything with the steps, right? So then you don't want to spend that much of time if you have the proper practice to do this. So here what I did, children, The ordinary numbers I converted into standard form. So these are that kind of the whole numbers. I told you the ordinary numbers we do have two types of. So then these are the whole numbers. Now the next example I take, let's say you have 68.25. Now what happened? Now do you want to find a hidden decimal man like this? So here that all the four examples, the second step, finding the hidden decimal man. But in the fifth question, do I need to really find the hidden decimal man? No, because it is there already. So then what I do, I just write 6.825, that only one step movement, therefore I write it like this. Let's say you have something like this. You have 4, 7, 93.6. So then what happened? You write 4.07936. How many steps? 1, 2, 3. It's 10 to the power of 8. Okay. So then the seventh example, let's say you have 5,000.4. Now what happened? You write 5.0004 and 10 to the power of 3. Hope it is clear, right? So then when I have a whole number or a decimal number, so then how I'm converting those numbers into standard form. But the decimals which are less than 1, what should I do? Look at this carefully. That I'm taking the decimals, these decimals are more than 1. Now I'm going to take the decimals which are less than 1. So then something like this. Let's say you have 0.0085, right? Now what happened, children? To convert this number into a number which is in between 1 and 10. So then in between 1 and 10, it becomes 8.5. Now you can understand. 1, 2, 3. You have to come to the 3 steps like this, but to the right side, negative 3. If I give you something like this, let's say 0.005092. Now what happened? The same thing. You write 5.092, 10 to the power of 1, 2, 3. So then you write negative 3. Children, in the exam, don't draw the arrows like this. Even though I'm showing to explain you for your easy reference, when we are doing it, don't draw the arrows like this because the decimal man is not moving anywhere, to be honest. So later when you go to the upper grades, you know that decimal man is not moving anywhere. Only the digit values, the place values, digit values, they are changing. That whatever the things we are doing here. But for your easy reference, I'm just explaining it like this. Therefore, don't draw the arrows that this is kind of an easy trick to do the sum easily. So other than that, don't do like that. So then 10th one, let's say you have 0.58. Now what happened? You just write 5.8, 10 to the power of negative 1. Right? So let's say that you have the 11th one, 2.8. You want to write this, that this is a decimal. That they ask us to keep this as the standard form number. How do you write? 2.8 multiplied by 1. So that means 2.8 multiplied by 10 to the power of 0. But normally we don't get this kind of thing. So up to 10, so that's there. So then what I did, that I converted the standard ordinary numbers into standard form. Here what they have given the standard form and you want to convert them into the ordinary numbers. This is very similar to what we learned the day 1, if you can remember. So the day 1 what we did, so when you have something, they have given the standard form. Can you see now? So all these questions are in standard forms. You want to write the value in the sense, for an example, if you can remember, I did that 7.2, 10 to the power 3. Can you remember we wrote 7.2, 10 to the power 3 means 1000, and that becomes 7,200 for 0, and finally we write 7,200. Now you just see, children, the same thing that the backward we are doing, right? If they have given 7,200, what we do? 7,200.0. So then I want to convert it to 7.2. For that, I want to multiply by 1000. That means it is 10 to the power 3, right? So then here they have given the standard form, but they have not mentioned the word here because we have not discussed that part. But now when you see this kind of number, so these numbers are in standard form, okay? So then if you want to convert them into ordinary number, so this is how you do. The same way, can you remember, if you have 4.8, 10 to the power of negative 2. What we did, we wrote that the 4.8 multiplied by 1 over 100. So then we wrote 4.8 divided by 100. So then we write 0.048. So this is an ordinary number. So then ordinary number can be a whole number and a decimal. So then the answer is 0.048. That is also an ordinary number. So similar to that, children, here they have given you the ordinary number, the standard form, and you want to write them in this ordinary number in the sense that what we did in the very first day. So similar thing you want to do. Similar steps you want to follow. Therefore, I don't write it here. And then let's say that they have given the ordinary numbers like this. So then you want to convert them into standard form, similar to this, what I did with these 10 sums. Okay, so then this is all about for today, right? We learned what is standard form, why we need to use standard form, what is the other term we use for standard form, the scientific notation, and we discuss about the ordinary number, the numbers, two types, the ordinary numbers and the standard form version. The ordinary number, it can be a whole number, it can be a decimal one. The decimal, it can be a decimal more than one, it can be a decimal less than 1, right? So this is these things that the decimals, but more than 1. These are also decimals, that 8, 9, 10, but less than 1, right? So then whatever it is, we learn how to convert them into standard form. And the very first day we learn, if they have given the number in standard form, how you want to convert this. So then that is the end of today's topic. What you are supposed to do, children. Let's see. Yeah, so then we want to go for the approximation next day. So then copy down or mark the questions you want to do. You want to do 1, 2, right? 1, 2. Here, question number 1 and 2. Then here, you want to do 14, 15, right? Then here, you want to do 16, 31, 35. Right? So these questions will be homework. Okay, children, so then we have come to the end of today's session. Please go through the concepts, copy down everything in your theory book, maintain the notes neatly and tidy, do the homework. We'll meet again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe. See you, children. Bye.